Hey, it's Elysia, your Mortgage Millions mentor. And what I want to share with you today is my top 10 time management tips. So if you're challenged on a daily basis or even weekly basis, if you feel like your day gets away from you, you're not in control of your day, these 10 tips are definitely going to help you. So be sure and give me a comment if you have any questions. Please share this video with another loan officer or branch if you find it helpful, and definitely smash up that like button. So let's get started. So my first tip for time management, when you're on calls, if you're not taking a loan application over the phone, for example, if you are updating a client or updating a realtor or calling your realtors to check in at the beginning of the week, just see what they did over the weekend, if they wrote any offers, right? That's what we want to know for sure. With our clients, if they have a new client for you, simple, keep them short and sweet by using a 3-minute egg timer, right? This one I have, it's bronze. It's got this cool Mariner theme to it. You know, I don't know, it was 20 bucks on Amazon, but you actually don't have to have a fancy one. I used to get these for all my loan officers, and these were like, I don't know, before inflation, they were like $7 for 10 of them or something, right? They're both 3 minutes. Easy. Ta-da. Okay, that's simple, right? Super simple, right? I try to make these things super simple for you. Ta-da. Okay, that's tip number one. Just use that 3-minute egg timer. Tip number two, when you're making those weekly calls to your realtors, ask them if you want to separate the call into business or personal, right? So if you're asking what they did over the weekend, did you work or did you play? Easy, right? If they played, you want to hear about that too, because every call you make needs to count in order to build a sincere, genuine rapport with your realtors and any of your referral clients. But if they had business, okay, then shift the call that way. Oh yeah, I took out 2 clients. Awesome. Was one of them Mr. Smith, who I pre-approved? Fantastic. Did you need the updated pre-approval letter? Or hopefully they already called you over the weekend and you knew you needed to do that. But if not, okay, say the other one. Oh, who was the other one? Oh, they came with a lender. Fantastic. Do they want a price? I'm happy to match or beat any price. Interest rate quote, closing fee estimate. Can I give them a call? Yeah. Okay, good. So that's the business or personal, right? And if they did go personal, like I said, take the time to find out some more information. What do they do on the weekend for fun? What, you know, are their kids in soccer, taekwondo? Do they do yoga? But what is it, right? Every opportunity is an opportunity to learn something about your potential relationship growing, right? More commonalities. They're more interesting. They make business more fun. Okay. Number 3, eat the frog. So I'm going to give you an extra download for free, some tips on time management and avoiding procrastination. But basically, eat the frog means whatever you're dreading or you like to do the least, you enjoy doing the least, that's what you want to get out of the way first thing in the morning, right? Because otherwise you can actually have anxiety build up throughout the day. Let's say, you know, whatever it is you have to do. Let's say you had an appraisal come in low, right? At like 5 o'clock on Tuesday afternoon. Figure out your game plan, what you're going to do. Call first thing in the morning, right? You don't want to let them sit with that overnight. So call first thing in the next morning. You don't want to, you know, wait till like noon or 3 o'clock, especially if you have a game plan. It's even better, right? It doesn't have to be a bad thing. But if it's something that you were dreading, don't wait till noon or 3 o'clock, because actually it can create anxiety for you throughout the day until you get that task off your list. So the best thing to do is get it done first thing, go on with the rest of what you have to do for the day, and enjoy the day and feel great about it, right? And so it completely allows you to avoid that anxiety. So there's actually a book called Eat the Frog. So see if we can put that link for you below. Now, time block. this is super important. A lot of people are like, oh, I don't like to use a schedule. I don't, really? How can you keep your appointments? How can you know what your week's going to be like? How can you be the most efficient way? How can you be efficient, period, let alone the most efficient you can possibly be without scheduling and without time blocking and without using a calendar? So for time blocking, it doesn't have to be minute by minute, right? It can be chunks of time. Okay. So let's just say from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., I'm reviewing emails. I'm tasking certain members of my team to do things. Let's just say then for the next couple of hours, I might just burn up the phones, right? All outgoing calls, not accepting any incoming calls. If you're worried about not being able to return calls for that 1 or 2 hour block, then put an outgoing text message that says, hey, I'm on whatever calls for the next hour. I'll return your call as soon as possible, or get back to your text as soon as possible. And you can also do an outgoing voicemail as well that says the same thing. You can also have, your assistant or whoever answers the phones for you, let people know the same thing when they're calling in and why you're not going to jump on that call, because you're allowed to have time to generate new business. Okay. So, and then let's say the next 2 hours from that are actually meeting with your referral partners. So that could be lunches, coffees, whatever it is, going to an event where you can network with a group of realtors or potential referral partners as well. And then you want to do that every workday. So every Monday through Friday, at least, right? Maybe you take some time to work on the weekends. Is that willy-nilly? You let people call you whenever, or do you let them know ahead of time, hey, I'm in front of my computer most weekend mornings and I'm happy to crank out whatever updated pre-approval letter you need at that time, right? The rest of the time I'm with my family, as I'm sure you can appreciate and respect. Okay, so set those boundaries. So that's time blocking, number 4. Number 5, chunk your activities. I kind of alluded to this with the time blocking, but it'll be 2 hours of the same activity, right? Whether that's, an hour of email and then it's 2 hours of phone calls and then it's hours of networking or meetings and that sort of thing. And then maybe at the end of your day, it's a chunk of, I'm going to work on these loan applications. Because the more you focus, everybody talks about multitasking. And the latest information on multitasking is that it really doesn't work. You're actually just splitting your attention instead of single focusing on what you're actually supposed to be doing, right? So if I'm actually having a conversation with the realtor that is not at all related to the loan application I'm working on, right? If it is related, that's great. If I'm talking about their purchase contract, I'm in the file trying to clean it up, that's one thing. But if it's a completely different, maybe you're having a conversation about an open house and you're trying to also work on a loan simultaneously, it's not the best way to go about things, because as I said, there's all this new information coming out that multitasking is very, very ineffective, and you need to be focused on the task you are doing. So important. Right? So chunk your activities. It also makes you more efficient with them, right? So especially, let's just say you're doing videos for your social media, right? To inform your realtors or whatever the case may be. You want to do those video after video after video, because you'll actually become more comfortable. You get better at it, even in that zone of time that you're doing that, versus if you did a different video every single morning. Yes, the practice will still help you improve. But if you did a bunch of videos all at once, it actually will help you. Just like if you review a bunch of loan applications, one after another, you'll become more efficient and you'll remember, oh, I might have missed that, or this, whatever going to happen on the other one. So again, tip number 5 for my top 10 time management tips is chunk your activities. Your brain actually, it works better if you chunk it. And actually it's 3 or less is the number, right? So let's say, for example, just to give you a little more info, if you were going to do outbound calls, right? Maybe you want to do some new relationship calls. Then maybe you want to do some current relationship calls. And then maybe you want to do some update calls, right? 3 different types of calls, but 1 chunk of time for calls. Okay, that's number 5. Number 6. So actually 6, 7, and 8 are focus, focus, focus. And each of them has a different focus. So number 6, focus on money-making activities. Right? I call this time management because how many of us stall and don't make those money-making calls we need to make? Whether that's your warm calls, which I'm a fan of. I'm not a fan of cold calls, but your warm calls, your cold calls, your updates, right? I don't know that I necessarily would call that a money-making activity unless I was asking for a referral while I was giving that update. Then it becomes a money-making activity, right? So on your money-making activities, and again, just like eating the frog, your money-making activity should be done first thing in the morning so you get it done. Don't leave your money-making activities till the end of the day because they may not get done. And then you're not managing your time efficiently because a money-making activity absolutely needs to be done on a daily basis, completed on a daily basis. So that's number 6, focus on money-making activities. And they don't have to be just calls. Let's say there's a networking breakfast you can go to, right? Let's say there's a networking event in the evening. Okay, great. Maybe you did another money-making activity in the morning and you're doing another one later that day. Again, that's fine. Just make sure you get your money-making activities completed every single workday. Number 7, focus on being present with your clients and your strategic referral partners. What do I mean by being present? This is important, okay? Being present, if I go to a lunch or meet a realtor or another strategic referral partner for coffee, I'm not looking at my phone, right? If I'm looking at my phone, I'm not being present with the person that I'm with. I want to look them in the eye. I want to be attentive. I want to hear and comprehend what they have to say, not be thinking about what I have to do later, not be thinking about picking the kids up from daycare. Yes, those thoughts are absolutely going to go through your head, but you want to come back to the person you're spending time with and focus on being present, right? Even if you're just talking to your clients or realtors on the phone, they can tell if you're not paying attention, just like you can if somebody's on the phone with you and they're not really paying attention to what you're saying. People know. So when you have the opportunity to connect with them, truly connect with them, be present. It's a really important piece to building a true, genuine relationship. People are people, we're human. We want to connect. Okay, number 8, focus on your outcome. Okay, so when it goes back to time management, when you make a call to a realtor, do you actually think about what your outcome is before you pick up the phone? Is it to update them on where a file is in process? Is it to build a new relationship? Is it to set up a meeting? Is it to see if you can, join them in an open house and what you can contribute? All right. When you pick up that phone to call somebody on your team, what's your outcome? To get an update, to see how you can help, maybe to build rapport. Whatever activity you're doing, try and think about it before you actually start the activity to know what your outcome is that you want. Do I just want to update this realtor on the file, or do I want to update them and my outcome is actually to get another referral from them, whether it be a client or another realtor that they can introduce me to, or another strategic referral partner? Know your outcome. When you go to a meeting, when you meet with a realtor, Are you crystal clear on what your outcome is? Or are you just going to have coffee with them? Because if you're just going to have coffee with them, you're absolutely going to have that outcome, right? When it's done. If you bought them a coffee, they will drink it. So will you. You'll have coffee with them. But if your outcome is to actually put in place the beginnings of a strategic referral partnership, know that outcome and then take the steps to make it happen. This is so important. How many of you have gone to meetings with realtors and then never hear from them again? I would guess it's because your outcome was to have coffee with them. Maybe in the back of your head, you thought, oh, maybe I can get some business. Know your outcome. Focus on knowing your outcome. So 6, 7, and 8 are focus, focus, focus. And hocus pocus, you'll have a great result. All right. Number 9 in my top 10 management tips, time management tips. Use your calendar and stick to it. If in the afternoon you have time scheduled to go through whatever, loan applications, or do your pipeline review with your processor, or whatever in the morning, those money-making activities, have it on your calendar and do it. If you never schedule it, it won't get done, period, paragraph, end of story. And if you schedule it, you know and I know that so many things can distract us as a loan officer, as a branch manager. You know, we have all these other things come up throughout the day. Put something like that on your schedule as well. Clean up miscellaneous, whatever that is. The credit expired, it needs to be updated, and, you know, whatever. You need to call and update a client on, you know, their appraisal just came in, or the realtors about, you know, whatever, they just got conditionally approved. Yeah, that's a great opportunity to ask for another referral. But whatever it is you're doing, put it on your calendar and stick to it. If you don't, you're not managing your time at all, right? This is like super basic. And it's important. And in our industry, we often overlook this, okay? Top 10 time management tips. Number 10, last but definitely not least. If you're at a meeting, whether it's with a referral partner, a new realtor, or even a client, and you know you want a second meeting, schedule that next meeting before you leave the appointment. So important. So important. Because if not, you're going to spend time chasing them to set up the next appointment. So I'm Elysia Stobbe, your Mortgage Millions mentor. I hope these top 10 time management tips of mine have been super helpful to you. If so, please smash up that like button for me. Share this with a colleague, another loan officer or branch manager who you think would benefit from time management tips. Even an assistant of yours could be as well, right? Please put your questions and comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Cheers to your success.